What's up, my ballers? My name is Keisha Swafford, and I'm here with Coach Larry Cordaro. He is the college basketball coach for LSUA Generals, and I am going to ask him a few questions about mental health in sports. So the first question I want to ask you is, how has COVID-19 affected your mental health when it comes, to doing sports and coaching?
Hey, Nisha, good morning to you. Thanks for having LSUA on air with you about this mental health and very important topic. Really, it hasn't impacted me a whole lot. I've been one that's always, stayed busy and always found some things to keep my nose into, whether it be running or reading and just planning around the clock for this season that we hope to have coming up right around the corner. But, mainly really been focused on our players, making sure that they're mental and that they're good, those that are out of state or those that are at home in Louisiana with their families. And that's about half of them. Half of them have been here with us in Alexandria. We've been able to see them on a regular basis, but just checking on our players, just trying to keep the ship moving forward.
Okay, and how have you helped them with their mental health during this ordeal?
We've been having weekly Zoom meetings with our team. We did that on Sundays. Just recently, we put a stop to that, and we've given them a project to work on for whenever they report to school. But that's something that has been good for them to be able to have a platform to see each other like you and I are right now, to communicate via Zoom. That's been a positive, and we've asked them some silly questions, some serious questions, and we've given them a chance to each pick a topic to talk about for 2 or 3 minutes and just kind of run with it. So we've been trying to keep them busy and their minds occupied. And earlier in this corona time, we were sending them workouts. But here lately, now that we've been able to get back in the gym, a majority of our players have been getting inside the fort on their own and training. So, but everybody seems to be doing pretty good. And this is one thing that we added with our coaching staff. Each coach has taken one player to call daily, and that's 4 or 5 calls a week. And you times that by 3 or 4 members on our staff, and we're touching base with every single student athlete at least once a week, if not sometimes twice. So that's something that we've been doing to keep in contact, just to make sure that our players are in the right mental place during this time.
Oh, that is awesome. I'm glad that, they have a place to vent, just in case they have some concerns or, they want to figure out, what's going on. So I'm happy that you're doing that. That's very healthy.
Texting is one thing, but it's another thing to have a conversation and to hear somebody's voice, their tone, to ask them questions, and you get immediate response. That's really triggered it. Is, of course, we text our players around the clock, but we want to make sure that we're talking with them. I think that's an important piece that we as a society has to remember to go back to, and don't forget that texting's got a time and a place for it, but we want to hear that voice and have some dialogue.
I believe that wholeheartedly, because face-to-face is way more important, just interviewing. I love doing face-to-face conversations instead of texting or just calling. I think it's something different when you're actually talking to the person face-to-face. So I'm glad you're doing that with your teammates. So what does coaching basketball mean to you, and especially during this time? Has it changed your perspective on it?
It really hasn't. We're just hoping to have a regular season, which I don't know if the regulars. We hope to have a season, and right now we don't know what's around the corner. Only God can see around the corner. We can see to the corner, but we just are looking forward. 2 weeks from today will be August 24th, and school will begin again. And looking forward to meeting with our athletic department. Adam Johnson's been doing a great job of leading the generals and informing us on what we need to do. And yeah, things will be different as far as temperature checks and team meetings and all, but I think everybody's just ready to get back and be together again. So we've had a long summer since March.
Yes, I understand that. Yes. So I think that's all the questions I have. But thank you so much for joining with me, and I really enjoyed talking to you about mental health in sports is very important, and we need to make sure that everyone is in good mental health before the season starts.
One thing that I would like to say, Keisha, back in the day, coaches had to be schooled in first aid, CPR. But here we are in 2020. It's important for coaches to understand and recognize, mental health. And we're not experts in mental health, but we can be the go-between. We have to continue to, check in with our players and try to see signs of things before maybe they flare up and it's too late. So that's something that I'm going to do. I'm going to take that challenge on, personally, and our staff, is just to make sure our players' mental health. That's everything. That affects their school, that affects their athletics, and even if athletics has to be secondary or we have to put a hold on it, it's important for our players to be right mentally. And so I just want to say thank you for bringing this topic to the surface a little bit more and to allow me to be a part of it, to challenge me to think about and making some notes, what we're doing as far as the mental health piece. And so our program will be better off just because of you, Keisha, putting it in our brain to think about. Mental health is important, and really all the time, but even no more than now because of what's going on with the coronavirus. We've got to be, meeting weekly with our players, close the door, come on in, one-on-one meetings, and what's going on with you personally, maybe with your family. And so it's bigger than basketball.
It really is. And when I was playing basketball in school, mental health was a problem for me. So, basketball was an escape for me, to help with my mental health and to be, if I was having a bad day or something, I would go play basketball. So it really did give me that release in order to, just to get through the day, get through school. So, without basketball, it would be, I don't know where I would be, because, it just helped me, release the tension, the stress that I felt when I was in school. So that's why I think
Keisha,
mental health is important.
One thing that I personally did, I think running, like you said, is a release. I've gotten into the gym several times, maybe not here of recent, but during the coronavirus and the quarantine earlier in the summer, and that would be my little getaway. I'd get in the gym, one ball, one person, and I would just shoot. I would chase my own ball around and just like, as a young kid. And I did that for 45 minutes, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And so I get what you're saying. Basketball is an outlet for these young student athletes. And hopefully when we get back going, this will be something that the ones that haven't been able to get to the gym, that they can kind of get their mentality back better than ever through sports. So hopefully the country will figure out a way to play sports. It might be on a smaller scale. We do realize and appreciate what sports does for our society and for our youth.
Yes, I totally agree with that, because, college sports, high school sports, whatever sports, it's just something that needs to be still incorporated in schools and in colleges because, people don't realize the impact that sports does have on a person's health in a positive way. So I really want to touch on that during my segment of mental health in sports. So thank you for being a part of that, Mr. Cordaro. I really do appreciate it.
It's been good, Keisha. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
All right.
I'm out.
Have a great day.
Oh, you too. And thank you so much. I'm so excited to just bring light to mental health in sports because it's something that needs to be said.
One thing that will also help mental health is making sure our relationships right. Those that are believers, as myself, with God, we have to continue to know that He's got all things in His hands, and things are going to be fine. We shouldn't really blink an eye if we are believing, which I am a believer. And so, you know what, Keisha, we're just going to follow God through the bright days and the dark days, because He's gonna He wants us to shine right now for Him, and that's what we all got to do.
Yes, I believe that too. I'm a Christian, and I believe that God has brought this or let this happen, COVID-19 happen for a reason. To slow us down. To make us appreciate life, to make us appreciate what we have, and to appreciate sports because probably maybe some people took it for granted to be like, oh, I mean, I get to play basketball all the time, but now you're like, oh wow, I don't get to play as much as I used to, and you get a great appreciation for what you have. So whether it's sports or in life. So I think that, everything happens for a reason, and God is in control. So
Yeah, a good deal. Keep that right mentality. Much love, and I appreciate you spending some time this morning and letting us be a part of this project.
oh, it's no problem. Thank you.
All right, bye bye. Make it a great day.
Oh, you too.
See you.
See ya.